Today it's our pleasure to have in the studio Nell Sang and Dean Thomas from the Camellia Society, and there's a big show coming to Hawke's Bay. It's the National Camellia Show. Nell, tell us about it.
Saturday, the 16th of August, at Railway Road in the Sports Centre.
There's over 1,000 flowers that normally are exhibited at this, so it is big, and it's also exciting, and I think the interesting people you'll meet is definitely rewarding. The big thing that why we're here this morning is to say that the Camellia Society in general with the show are going to have experts to advise people on flower form, on size, and these are some of the positives through the Camellia Society that we bring.
We have combined an art section there which is going to complement the blooms and give us a proper tribute to the camellia. We've invited some local artists to paint a camellia for us. Now, you know, every artist has probably got a totally different interpretation of what their idea of a camellia is. We've also been to about 3 or 4 primary schools, and we've invited them to take part in the art section.
Is the showing of the flowers highly competitive?
Oh, it is. You'll get people, for instance, that go way out and put covers over them, bring them inside, and it's amazing. You know, the show competition is there. It's big, and it's also exciting. And I think the interesting people you'll meet is definitely rewarding.
Not only to enjoy the camaraderie of each other, the learnings of each other in the competition, but you'll get to enjoy the very best of what we can offer in the city, district and region. So on behalf of the Hastings District Council, Brian and your team and the organising committee, Sue, thank you for allowing me to speak, and a very warm welcome to you all. Enjoy your weekend. I am now happy to declare the National Camellia Show officially open. Congratulations.
It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all, and Pat Gordon and I are the co-presidents of the Hawke's Bay branch, and we're thrilled because a lot of planning has gone in place, and this is a first for Hastings, so this is really exciting for us. We're thrilled to have Mayor Lawrence here. We're thrilled to have our president of the National Society, Brian Huntley. We say well done to the winners and everybody that's participated. How fantastic. The flowers are beautiful. The art is amazing, and this has been a new initiative, and it's also wonderful to talk about the children's art, because if they don't know about camellias by the time we're finished, it won't be our fault. Thank you all for being here, and enjoy every minute of it. Thank you.
The winner goes to Nostalgia and Romance, done by Donna Lee.
It's a magnificent show that the Hawke's Bay team have put on for you. And I think you'll agree with me that there are some stunning blooms on display. And of course, as Sue pointed out, the added attractions are the adult art paintings. And there are some stunning paintings there, 49 altogether. Also in support we have the school art colouring competition, just under 300 entries.
There will be plenty of flowers there. Good choice, good selection, and it's worthwhile seeing. I just say to the public, it is worth it.
We've got some lovely attractions outside. We have an area which we are going to create something really, really interesting for you. This will start at 10 o'clock in the morning. The group from the Hawke's Bay Woodturners Guild, they're going to set up their equipment there, and they're going to be demonstrating how they make all these beautiful, beautiful wooden things that will be on display and will be on there for sale.
I think basically camellia is the greatest diversified plant, being evergreen, being winter flowering, having a pickable flower, having colour, diversity in the variety, and there's different ways that you can look at camellias. With the new hybrids, they range in form, difference in size, and also in flowering pattern. We go from bell type, small species type, which are the most interesting, and these are the ones that are the love of the garden, rather than the big flamboyant variety, both in colour and in form.
Are they a hardy plant? Do we have to be wary of frost?
No. Basically, most varieties are extremely hardy, except for possibly areas where you're getting really severe frost. These can affect the species or the smaller leaf types, but the normal hybrid and japonica are pretty tough. Some of these little hybrids are interesting, they're cute, and also they have a very, very long flowering pattern. Some of them are actually fragrant or scented. The scented varieties, they're normally low, compact, semi-weeping, and very, very fine foliage, not your big normal foliage that you'd normally get. We've got them for pots, we've got them for containers, for spaling, if people are looking at putting it against the wall. We've got them even for baskets. So there's a big change that the public need to be aware of.
How often do they flower?
Basically, it's starting off in autumn, going right through to early summer. Some of the varieties we have flowering in our garden in February, but these are the species types. They're possibly not as interesting as the flamboyant ones, but they do add interest. But the big thing is that they're producing nectar and pollen in the greatest period of the year when we need the birds, bees, and all the insects for that reason. So, yes, important.
We will have a very, very special lady there. Her name is Dr. Linda Newstrom-Lloyd. She is actually attached to Land Care Research. Linda's project is Trees for Bees. And as you all probably know, there's a bit of a concern about the bees.
We found out that the latest research for bees for trees, the Camellia, is actually coming back in full force, and this is both interesting for land development, for producing pollen and nectar for birds, bees and other insects. So there is a connotation that it actually is a must to have camellias in your garden.
So this is Puki Tapu, and can I tell you a funny little story about this? Roger and a lovely American fellow were at the hotel having a lovely few drinks before they went home for the meal. They did a little bit of home hosting. And Roger said to the American, "We must go now because Diane said the meal will be ready at such and such." And he was feeling really primed up, and he came out of the hotel and looked up, and he was feeling really good. And he said, "What a great little pub this is. What's it called? Poop to Poo."
Starting Alexander's property here with the lake, a few pairs of swans that have bred on the island. However, the pukaka, a real menace in this area. There's a small bridge prior to going up to the house property. Believe it or not, in the winter, when it floods, there's a metre of water that covers the lower part of the garden right through. It's actually gone over the bridge to their homestead. Interesting that they've got all the deciduous trees planted in this low area, hence that they'll take the moisture level. The last garden we're about to see is basically a little bit controversial. It has two sides almost to the story. When you enter the property, you'd be quite impressed, and it really is an impressive entrance to the second home. Very formal in the front. However, when you exit the bus and go to the left-hand side through the top and lower garden, there's quite a bit of diversity. The first time I went and saw this garden, I did it, and I'm sure Tony and I would share hands in it by saying, wow.
So Dean, for yesterday and today, we appreciate what you have done for us. Thank you very much indeed.